This is the last part of the video, and in this last part of the video, what I'm going to do is to wrap up this summary of this presentation of the activities you did in classroom. Obviously, what I'm trying to do is to, if you notice, I'm trying to link the theoretical part of language awareness, which was these activities related to 10 questions about language awareness, all those objectives, principles, procedures, which you study there and you read and use them to fill the table or the grid. And then you watch the video, or you watch a class where there were a complete lesson based on those principles. But obviously that class was practical, right? So what I'm going to try to do now is to try to link all those principles that you study. We can say the theory or the theoretical principles of language awareness, and to link them with the practical situation of the lesson of the class you watch in the YouTube video. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to use the different moments of the class, and I'm going to present all those principles which relate to that moment of a class. Okay, so the first moment that we studied, that we analyzed, was the context, right? So I have a question here. What of the previous principles, the principles that we saw in the last video, can we link to the phases of the activity? And why? This last question is very important. Why? Okay, because we are giving reasons, and this is something that you have to do, or you will have to do when you design the activity. You will design the activity, but also you are going to give reasons. You're going to say why this activity can show some aspects of language awareness. This is very important. Okay, so remember, the first part of a lesson was contextualization. They were preparing the task, the main task. Okay, and we can see some principles here. For example, learners learn best while effectively engaged in the activity. Learners acquire the language through an experiential process. And this is very clear, right? Children were completely engaged in the activity. They lived the experience. They were not passive. They were actively engaged in the activity. And also, teachers help learners discover aspects of the language through an organized lesson. This is another important, right? Everything should be organized. So, to this part of the lesson, the contextualization, the preparation of the task, we can link all these principles. Teachers prepare tasks and materials in advance to help learners discover aspects of language. What materials? Well, all the hats, the boat, the scripts. Yes, you have to prepare all that. And I will insist on this. This is an organized lesson, and this is something that you have to do. So you will see that probably there are much more work in the preparation than in the implementation of the class, because in the preparation you have to think a lot every single moment, and you have to see it in your head what is going to happen first, second, third, what teachers are going to do, what is going to be your role, what materials they're going to need, and then you have to prepare everything in advance and organized. That's why lesson plans are important, all right? Because it's like the plan of your class. So to the next part of the class, which still is the preparation. These are the principles that we can link to. For example, learners reflect and analyze a cultural and social situation by asking questions. Yes? So reflecting, asking and answering questions is a way to prepare, right? Teachers are preparing, remember. They are linking, experiential. It's important, experience. Because when you experience something, you are like growing things inside of you. Yes, in your brain, in your mind, that will be there. Yes, and when you find those vocabulary or aspects of the language again, you're going to say, so this is what the teachers were talking about before, and there is where learning takes place. Okay, but it doesn't take at random. Everything needs to be prepared. So preparing a class, analyzing things, cultural and social situations, it's a way to prepare. Okay? So again, teachers prepare everything, and they ask questions to reflect, to help learners reflect about this special situation. Okay? So those are the principles that we can link to this part of a class. So teachers implement scaffolding strategies. How? Well, they have questions ready. Yes, this is a way of scaffold, having questions ready. Having questions ready, and they are showing the questions so children can have visually contact with them, right? Visual contact. Okay, so we continue to the high challenge, the development of a class. And obviously this is the part where learners do the most of the activities. I mean, most of the principles. Okay. So, learners discover language for themselves. Yes, they do. They are discovering the language. Vocabulary, grammar, spelling, punctuation. Okay. They are effectively engaged. Yes. They notice the language and how it's typically used. Yes, because remember, they are using authentic materials, authentic language in the brochures. Learners develop mental attributes. Yes. Acquire the language through experiential process. Yes, they do. They have to do a plan. They have to experience, and their plan is real. Okay. They have to have a budget. They have to have everything ready. It's a real thing they are producing. It's something real. Learners do tasks to evidence the learning process. Yes, I said they have to produce a plan. Now, the role of the teachers. Remember, this is very important. They are facilitators. Yes, rather than just knowledge transmitters. They help learners discover aspects of the language through an organized lesson, and they prepare everything. And if you see all the moment, teachers were around helping, but children were in the center of everything. They were taking initiative. Yes, but around them there were all the sources, all they needed to do the plan, and also the support of the teachers. And this and it's here we can notice something very important that probably haven't mentioned before, or at least I haven't given the importance. which is collaborative work. This is very, very, very important. Children are collaborating. They are working in pairs or small teams, working together. So this is another way of learning, because someone is helping you to learn, to remember things, and they do not depend on the teacher all the time. And this is something that you do in real life. You socialize. So this activity is also helping learners socialize, learning from their partners, all right, from their classmates. And this is also part of learning. It's not only it's not everything about parts of, or aspects of language, but also this learning is important for children to grow. Okay, so well, this is the last part of the video that I've made for you, and the next material that I'm going to record is all related to the lesson plan of the activity that you have to do. Okay, so see you soon. Bye bye, take care.